Taking a look at Dr. Tom Prichard and Alex Avgerinos one-on-one right here. Dr. Tom Prichard, very well traveled. He's been a veteran, and he's competed anywhere.
Dr. Tom Prichard, one of the most highly decorated professional wrestlers in the last 20 years or so. This man's been everywhere, as you said, Dan. He currently holds the Texas Heavyweight Champion, a title that he's actually held for quite some time, and that's an accomplishment in itself. He's in the ring right now with the young Alex Avgerinos, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup. We got a man with a lot of experience, Tom Prichard, still in great physical shape, and we got Alex Avgerinos, young, also in shape, and very impressive in the ring. So it's going to be a treat for everybody here in Union, South Carolina and Trans-South Wrestling, as these two are really going at it right here. And Tom Prichard, foot on the ropes, so Alex Avgerinos has got to break the scissor hold.
Mike, I understand a long time ago you had a match with Tom Prichard.
Yes, I did. It was out at Shreveport, Louisiana. It's the first and only time I ever got in the ring with him. But I'll tell you, he's a technician, and he knows the business. He's been around for a long time, and he's a very, very, very good technical wrestler when he wants to be. That's the reason they got the nickname of Doctor.
Very well accomplished singles wrestler. At one time, part of the Heavenly Bodies with Jimmy Del Rey and Stan Lane. Very much super big time successful tag team combinations that he had. But Alex Avgerinos right now is giving him a whole lot of fight, but Dr. Tom very, very smart, and like you said, he's in tremendous shape. I mean, I'm sure there's a way that he can outfox Alex Avgerinos.
Oh, absolutely. Dr. Tom Prichard has been in this situation before many, many times. So it's only a matter of time, and it looks like he's trying to pick his spots now, but Avgerinos really trying to crank that arm a little bit. And Prichard has Alex Avgerinos in the corner. Referee Tracy got a clean break. Wasn't really expecting that, But Tom Prichard, Dr. Tom Prichard, I'm used to that whole pulling tights gag from him on many, many occasions. So we'll see how it goes from here.
A lot of trash talking between the two, but I'll tell you what, Alex Avgerinos is young, he's hungry, he wants to pick up a win, and Dr. Tom Prichard wants to come in here the same way he wants to leave the same way he came in. He wants to leave as a winner.
Well, you've got experience against, an old school wrestler against somebody that's just now getting into the business, work his way up the ladder. So we're going to see who comes out on top. Again, it's tough when you get in there with somebody that's been around for years and years and knows every trick in the book.
You can tell right now the way Prichard moves, he's still very ring-wise. I mean, he's pulling out a lot of moves that we haven't seen in a while, but they're still working. I mean, so he's very crafty.
Absolutely. We saw that he was trying to get Avgerinos in a pinning position from that headlock, even resorting to pulling the tights. Now the two men are working it back up, and this would be a huge feather in the cap of Avgerinos if he can somehow get a victory over Dr. Tom Prichard.
Going to a top wrist lock, both men struggling. Alex Avgerinos stops it, turns it right back into a headlock. Mike, that just goes to show, we're going back to old school.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with old school. That's back when wrestling was wrestling, as far as I'm concerned, which I'm old school myself. I can't help but think that way.
Well, professional wrestling is what's on the marquee, and that's what we're taking a look at right now. This is wrestling at its best.
Well, different people have different opinions about it. Some people like to see the moonsaults and the hurricane ranas, and some people like to see the old school wrestling because it brings back memories of people like Rip Hawk, Sweet Hansen, the Andersons, Ole and Arn, Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, Lex Luger, and people in the 80s and early 90s. And that's back to me when wrestling was wrestling.
I'll tell you what, wrestling back then still works like it does today. I mean, it goes back to the basic fundamentals.
Oh, that's just it. It's the basics. It gets the job done just as well as any other high-flying moves.
Right, Prichard has him in the corner, and he's giving a heck of a beating. Alex Avgerinos in a world of trouble. He's caught in that corner. Tom Prichard just unloading on him big time.
Yes, he is, and Tom Prichard gets him back and gives Alex Avgerinos a taste of his own medicine. But wait a minute, Avgerinos manages to get out of it and right back into the headlock and took him over. This is real old school wrestling. This is the type of wrestling that, I know Mike is used to back in his day being a professional wrestler. I know, Dan, this is brings back a lot of memories for you growing up with you being a professional wrestling. I was in that area that was getting out of the transition from this old school style, but it's great to see this style of wrestling right here in Trans-South Wrestling because it's great. It's absolutely great. Athleticism is just top-notch between these two athletes.
Absolutely. Prichard, by the way, trying to pin him, but I noticed he had a big handful of tights there.
And I apologize if I'm getting a little bit of tongue-tied, but this is just a really exciting match between these two. The band right behind Alex Avgerinos. Dr. Tom Prichard is trying to find some way of getting back in there. And little things like that, taking the forearm and rubbing it across the eyes of Alex Avgerinos and might distract him a little bit. Might even help him try to get out of that headlock. It goes for a blow. Goes for another one. Dr. Tom Prichard trying to find his way out. Huge shoulder tackle. Avgerinos to the ropes. Blocks the hip toss.
Alex Avgerinos retired temporarily, at least. And right now, Prichard is going to roll him up.
I'll tell you, Avgerinos is holding his own in there against Dr. Tom Prichard. I'm very impressed. Whether he wins or loses, he's getting a lesson in professional wrestling tonight.
I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people can't say they've lasted 7 minutes with Dr. Tom Prichard. Some people haven't even lasted that long. At least Avgerinos has made it this far.
He has made it this far, and 7 minutes within the match, and Avgerinos has been on top the majority of the time. Apparently, Avgerinos has went home and done his homework. But Tom Prichard saying something that's wrong with his ear. He's been in that headlock long enough. He might not even have an ear now. Now these two are going to be circling each other. Dr. Tom Prichard's probably thinking of some way of getting on top of this young kid. Clearly he's frustrated. And the two lock up. Prichard sends him into the corner. And vicious punch by Dr. Tom Prichard, and Alex Avgerinos answers back. And now these two are trading blows, Dan. This is getting a little bit of everything. Old school wrestling, now we're getting a big fist fight here. Already a great contest.
Fist City, and Alex Avgerinos sends him for a ride. Whips him in the turnbuckle. Back body drop. Prichard hits the mat. Right now, Alex Avgerinos taking the tide of the battle, and Prichard heads for higher ground, maybe to get outside to get his breath. Mike, he's in trouble.
Well, it looks like he's in trouble, but I'm going to tell you something. It could be a little psychology going there. Trying to get Avgerinos a little more self-confident, get him pumped up, think he's doing a good job, and you never know what the doctor's going to do. This could be some of that old school psychology.
He needs some oxygen.
All right, now Dr. Tom Prichard back up on the apron. I'll tell you what, he's trying to keep Alex Avgerinos away. What's he doing, Cole? What's he got?
I have no clue. Maybe he had an itch. Dr. Tom Prichard looks like he's getting back into the ring, taking his time now. And Alex Avgerinos, he looks ready. Very well concentrating on this matchup right here. And Drop toe hold by Dr. Tom Prichard. Now he's going right into it, and Alex Avgerinos reverses. And he's right back on top of Tom Prichard. Dan, how many times have you seen Tom Prichard in a situation like this, where a young wrestler such as Alex Avgerinos is getting the best of him? Not many times, I bet.
Not often. I'll tell you what, Alex Avgerinos putting up a tremendous fight. But Tom Prichard is a veteran. He's been around for a long, long time. Current Texas champion. And, I'll tell you what, right now he's probably just trying to slow it down just a little bit. By no means is it over. Not by a long shot.
Danny, I'm telling you, this is old school psychology right here. I can see it clear as day. Prichard knows exactly what he wants to do. He's just waiting on him to make one tiny mistake, and he's going to take advantage of the situation. Mark my words.
All right, Dr. Tom Prichard, arm wringer and twist. Avgerinos reverses Avgerinos with a headlock. Hip lock takedown. This match has been very exciting.
Very great match, and like I said, Alex Avgerinos is doing the smart thing. He's been working on Dr. Tom Prichard's head and neck with that headlock, and he keeps going right back into it. Very, very smart on Alex Avgerinos' part. But this has just been a great match. I'm so happy to be here at Trans-South Wrestling for this great event between these two athletes. This is just fantastic, Dan.
Right, Alex Avgerinos pushed into the ropes. Prichard does not break clean. Avgerinos goes tumbling outside. He's in a lot of trouble now, Mike.
Exactly. This could be the beginning of the end right here. Once Prichard gets in hand, he can be devastating.
Tell you what, he just got a piece of that barricade and slammed it right across him. Prichard with a knife-edge chop. Oh, he's trying to break his arm now. All the dirty tricks have been pulled out, and Alex Avgerinos may now have found out he's bitten off more than he could chew.
Well, Tom Prichard really did a number on that arm, wrapping it around that corner post. Definitely take the fight out of you, especially with that arm being in so much pain, and Tom Prichard going right into that arm and really torturing Alex Avgerinos. Let's get him off the ropes now. Wait a minute. Could be possibly hooking and a body slam him on top of that arm, and yes, he does. That's not just some ordinary body slam. He tucks the arm behind his back and slams him right on top of that arm, and that causes severe damage. And it's not looking good for Alex Avgerinos now.
Very reminiscent of the Anderson brothers with that hammerlock body slam combination. And right now, Avgerinos is flirting with a broken arm.
That was the first thing I thought of when he put his arm behind his back and slammed him. It's the trademark of the Anderson brothers, exactly what they used to do. And believe me, you get slammed on the arm, it does not feel good at all.
Mike, I believe in the past, Arn Anderson's done that to you, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, several times. Several times. Arn still remembers every minute of it. What makes it double tough is he got his arm slammed into the ring post to begin with, so his arm's already hurt, so he starts working on it. That's what we were talking about earlier. You get on a spot and you work on it. That's the way the Anderson brothers did it. That's the way Tom Prichard's doing it tonight. That's the key to wrestling. Whereas the other guys, if they didn't take advantage in the other match of working on the guy's ribs who was already hurt from earlier in the night when he had this first match.
Tom Prichard's going onto that arm on top of it, and this is the way you do it. You wear the man's down on a body part, and you stay on top of him until you get the win.
Absolutely, and that's something that Dr. Tom Prichard knows more than anybody else in this arena right now. And he's really doing the number to that arm. And he's doing the smart thing, keeping with that same body part. And he's really just pounding him. He's going to wrap that arm up against the ropes, tying it up. And you know this is a very, very bad situation for Alex Avgerinos right now. He's in really bad shape, Dan.
Like I say, if he doesn't wind up with a broken arm, that arm's going to be in really bad shape one way or the other. Prichard now with a variation of going into a hammerlock.
Almost in a way, it kind of looks like he's trying to head for like a key lock, which is a very, very painful submission hold that can break not only your shoulder but your elbow at the same time. But this is a little bit different, almost like an arm bar of some sorts. Not something you see very often in professional wrestling, but you know this is very, very painful, almost Fujiwara-like in a way.
He's trying to break his arm, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, he's taking advantage of working on that one spot. And if he keeps on, he may get a submission simply out of that.
We forget sometimes even something as simple as a hammerlock, after you work over this guy so often, can wear him down and put him in defeat.
You just hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what happened. You're going back to your old school again.
Prichard now moving into a hammerlock. Avgerinos in a world of trouble. Moves in with an arm bar and even a head scissors combination. I'll tell you what, Alex Avgerinos is getting twisted and stretched in positions he's never dreamed of.
Yeah, we're seeing different holds that we've never seen here in trans wrestling. Dr. has more tricks in his sleeve than a sideshow magician. But Alex Avgerinos is trying his best to get back into this contest. But Dr. Tom Prichard going back into that arm. Now Avgerinos hitting those elbows. And attempting a sunset flip and gets it. 1, 2, Dr. Tom Prichard kicks out. And Tom Prichard answers with a clothesline. And that took Alex Avgerinos out.
Really close right there. Prichard continuing the attack, and he now as he's pulling Alex Avgerinos. Alex Avgerinos in a world of trouble. We're at the 17-minute mark. How many people can say they went in there with Prichard last to 17 minutes?
Well, not a whole lot of people, but I tell you what, right now, I guarantee you he has no feeling in that arm at all. It's just like an appendage just hanging on the side of his body. And getting thrown into the ring post like that doesn't help it at all either. It's just a matter of time before he's going to submit. I got a feeling. Because when you're missing an arm, you're missing a leg or something like that, it makes it double tough. Right now, his left arm it's just, like I said, hanging there. No feeling, no movement, no anything.
As simple as an arm bar doing the damage. Alex Avgerinos taking a tremendous amount of at this point in time. It's going to take nothing short of a miracle for him to come back and try to win this.
Avgerinos is definitely in bad shape. Not only does Dr. Tom Prichard have that arm, but he's sitting on top of him too. So this makes it really hard for Avgerinos to get anywhere when you got all that extra weight on top of you. But the crowd in Union, South Carolina is solid behind Alex Avgerinos. And gets 2 shots in, a third shot, number 4. And Dr. Tom Prichard just cuts him right back off again. Dan, this has been a really impressive match. How long have we been going into this?
We're up on the 19-minute mark right now, and I'll tell you what, Prichard and Avgerinos have really been going at it. Lariat takes his man down.
1, 2. Only a 2 count. Avgerinos is going to have to get back on top of him and do something else. Seize the opportunity, Alex. And throwing the fist, and Tom Prichard kicks him, sends him, wait a minute, reversal.
Oh, big knee out of that corner, stuns Avgerinos.
And wait a minute, looks like Dr. Prichard's going right back into those tights again. Looks like he's got something there, Dan.
Can't tell.
I don't know, whatever it is.
Roll up, Mike.
Avgerino have done it. That's what you call an upset.
The winner of the contest, Parris